we are pleased to honor our 2014 Alumnus of the Year, Congressman George Miller. You know, many of our graduates carry the spirit of equity and social justice into their public service careers. SF State alumni are well represented in leadership in the city and in state and national capitals. Our Alumnus of the Year is among the very best and brightest public leaders in the region and the nation. A sense of urgency to serve people and his country. This is what George Miller says first motivated him to run for office, and it has never left him. First elected in 1975, George Miller's expansive congressional career has been marked by a tenacious pursuit of a quality education for all children and economic opportunity for the working poor and middle class. He served as the senior Democrat on the House Education and Workforce Committee and a leading advocate for education, labor, and the environment. He now represents the 11th District of California in the East Bay, including the majority of Contra Costa County. This year, George announced he will not seek a 21st term in the House. He's upset about the Giants losing, apparently. He is among the longest-serving members of Congress, which has had more than 10,000 members. As the chair of the Education and Workforce Committee, George led efforts to revamp the federal student loan system. He has also sought to draw attention to the working conditions of contingent faculty members. He is working to forge a bipartisan compromise to ensure that the historic Affordable Care Act, which he co-wrote, is fully implemented. Last year, The Nation magazine named George the most valuable member of the House for his work on the minimum wage, food stamps, garment worker safety, and fair trade policy. He was inducted into the San Francisco State Hall of Fame in 1997. For his outstanding work as a congressman who took to heart the responsibility and opportunity he had to help improve the lives of all Americans. San Francisco State University is proud to name Congressman George Miller, BA in American Studies, its 2014 Alumnus of the Year.
It really is, just prior to the Congressman's comments, I want to take this special moment to announce that in honor of our outstanding Alumnus of the Year, George Miller, that we have endowed a $25,000 scholarship to be named the San Francisco State University George Miller Scholarship. And we will honor a student annually who exemplifies the very best in both excellence in academics and commitment to public service. Thank you, George. Congressman.
Thank you. Oh. Hey, Sarah, $25,000 out there if you work your buns off, huh? Yeah. And even a political science major can qualify, so don't worry about it. How about those associated students, huh? Then the backbone and the heartthrob and the pain in the rear of this institution for so many years. But you got a front and center table. I'm impressed. You guys it's coming along pretty well, huh? That political organizing is paying off. Well, thank you so very much. This is a wonderful honor, and I certainly want to thank President Wong for this recognition, and to San Francisco State, and to Ben Fong Torres, who we've traveled the same road for so many years, and has been such an important part of chronicling American culture, Bay Area culture.
Right now, I'm just a roadie.
And I'm honored. Do I have to repeat it all? No. Thank you. By popular demand, I won't repeat it. And to the Hall of Fame committee, thank you so much for my induction there, and to the inductees tonight, congratulations. A remarkable institution and a remarkable honor for me. My 40 years in public service were hammered out at San Francisco State. I was fortunate enough when I attended San Francisco State that I got 2 educations for the price of 1. I got one in the classroom that was spectacular. I was not a great student in high school. Those who know me at San Francisco State say we weren't much of a very good student in college. When is it? When I spent most of my high school either suspended from high school or playing Friday night football. And I sent my application to UC Berkeley, and my father heard about that. He was in the state legislature. And he called his good friend, who was the chancellor of our community college system. He said, I think you should come over and talk to George. And so Mr. Drexel, Carl Drexel, came over and he talked to me, and he said, so what are you planning for college? I said, well, I sent an application to Berkeley, and I'm waiting for an answer. He said, well, that answer is never going to come. He said, but you're so fortunate. Your father in the state legislature designed a system just for you. When he wrote the master plan for higher education, he had you in mind. Now, you are what we call a late bloomer. You don't hear that term anymore, right? My wife thinks that's still the problem today, but anyway. Damn Giants, they got me thrown off the track here. He said, you will come to Diablo Valley College, and you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be great. You can play a little football. That's apparently what you excel at. And then you will decide what you want to do after that. So I did that. It was great. Played a lot of football. My wife, at that time, said, this has got to stop. So I got serious, and I went to St. Mary's College for 1 water polo season, and came to San Francisco State. And everything was up from there. It's been a remarkable career. It's been a remarkable opportunity, and I can't thank you all enough. Late bloomers of America, unite. We got to work this out. But it was an amazing opportunity in 1966, 1967, 1968 to be at San Francisco State, because I think it was the first demonstration of many cultures, many political philosophies coming together and asking fundamental and basic questions about the direction of the nation. And it was the most exciting time you could possibly imagine. You never knew what the hell was going to happen when you showed up from work. I know the Giants lost. Please turn off your phones while I'm speaking. But if you can imagine it, and think of this, this is 1968. This country is going through dramatic change that Ben Fong wrote about in so many ways. Throughout the culture, and you're in San Francisco, and you're at San Francisco State, and you have a tactical squad on the campus. You have the Black Students Union forming the first Black Students Union in a majority white institution. You have the Vietnam War and all of the protests on both sides of the war that took place on this campus. You had political speakers every minute of the day in the quad. But it taught you something about America. It taught you about a difference that people have and points of view and positions they hold strong, about the right to speak out on those, the right to raise these issues, the right to demonstrate that it was part of the democracy, it was part of a vibrant democracy. And of course, it was an example that played out around the world. It played out around the world. This idea that minorities would have a say, have some part in the design of the educational opportunities. The idea that people could stand up and speak out against the war in Southeast Asia, that they could speak out against racial inequality and opportunity. I can't tell you what it was like when Martin Luther King was killed and students gathered in the student union. And we didn't know what to do. And finally, students stood up one at a time and started to speak from all points on the ethnic, racial compass that was present at San Francisco State, unlike so many other places. And to share that shared experience, the loss of this person who we thought was our voice, who we thought would lead us forever, and to experience that at San Francisco State. That hones you to run for public office. That hones you to think only about tomorrow. That hones you to think about what you can do for others and to not sway from that track. It's a rough and tumble place, Washington, D.C., but if you've done your training at San Francisco State, you're ready for it. You're ready for it. Had a wonderful professor, Arthur Berger. Oh, he didn't flunk you too, did he? No. But he made you drink of American culture, of American diversity, of the changes that were rapidly starting to take place in our culture, whether it was in the business community or whether it was in music or whether it was in humor. And it was a remarkable experience to be in that class and to participate at the same time that you had demonstrations. At that time, the class was right above where the old administration building was. And again, it was really about earning some stripes to participate in a robust discussion in America about the future of our democracy. And today, I feel that this award is just a recognition of how much this institution has meant to me in the compiling of my public service, my public record, the stands I've taken. This experience has never left me, and I hope it will never leave me. I like to believe that it served my constituents very, very well for these 40 years, and it was always about opening the doors of access. It was about the equity of opportunity. It was about the chance to participate. It was making sure that perhaps the books weren't always cooked, the game wasn't always fixed, that others could get in and they could thrive and they could participate and they could lead this country. And that's what San Francisco State gave me. And I can't say thank you enough to this institution, to its leadership. It was wild and fun. And to see now what President Wong is creating today and the future that is being prepared for this institution to run with the biggest dogs in the country and to provide the skills and the talents for a workforce into the future, and to provide students who understand what it means to have a huge, thriving democracy with this kind of diversity and what that means to a nation. That to me is the fuel that the San Francisco State has provided. So I am so deeply honored by this recognition. It was a great run at the university, and I'll always be indebted for the gifts that the university, its faculty, its students, its atmosphere, the culture of the university gave to me. Thank you so very, very much tonight. Thank you. Thank you.